Anime, reborn as a vending machine, now I want to the dungeon. Moving on to episode 2, Boxxo encounters a bear in front of the inn. Lammy's goes out to greet Boxxo and also greets the bear. It turns out the bear is the chairman of the Hunter Association. The bear speaks to them, stating that there will soon be a mission to attack the frog monster's stronghold, and he wants Lammy's and Boxxo to join. Lammy's is surprised because Boxxo cannot fight. However, the chairman bear explains that he only wants Boxxo to provide food and drinks during the journey and assures their safety. Boxxo himself doesn't want the frog monsters to cause trouble in this city, so he agrees to join the mission. It has been 3 days since their journey to the frog monster stronghold. According to the information from the chairman bear, the safety of the village is important, but the most crucial thing is for the village to maintain control over the teleportation circle. The teleportation circle is a magical device that allows someone to travel back and forth between dungeon layers and the surface. During the mating season, frog monsters can become very troublesome as they lay numerous eggs, resulting in the rapid growth of adult frogs. During the journey, someone mentioned that there were more frogs this year compared to previous years, as seen by the increased number of hunters participating. In the late afternoon, they set up tents to rest. A red-haired man approaches Lammy's and Boxxo. He appears to be one of their guards. The man approaches out of curiosity about Boxxo. Lammy's suggests that he try buying one of the products available. The man chooses to buy lemon tea. He is impressed because he has never seen packaging like that before. When he drinks it, he becomes even more impressed because it is warm. The man becomes curious about how to refill all these products. However, even Lammy's herself doesn't know. All the products appear on their own without needing to be refilled. The man becomes more interested in Boxxo and calls one of his companions, Philmina. Philmina refers to the man as Captain Cariel. It turns out that the eccentric bearded man is the leader of the guard group. According to Cariel, Philmina knows enough about magical tools and ancient treasures, so he asks if Philmina knows something about Boxxo. After carefully examining Boxxo, Philmina doesn't sense any magical power within him. Cariel doubts it because Boxxo can produce items without anyone refilling them. It means that all the items inside him are transferred or stored in another space. According to Philmina, that is usually the case, but there are also blessings that don't require magical power. However, Philmina responds that Boxxo cannot use blessings. Unfortunately, she is mistaken. Boxxo can use blessings. The sun was almost setting, and it was time for them to rest after setting up the tents and other preparations. To welcome this mission, Boxxo had added a new product. The mornings and evenings were very cold, so Boxxo decided to include instant noodles in their supplies. The hunters lined up eagerly to buy the instant noodles. Boxxo noticed a little girl with white hair who had a big appetite. It seemed that she was one of their guards, along with Lammy's. The girl's name was Shui. In the evening, Director Bear approached Lammy's and Shui, who were chatting. He wanted to discuss the journey for the next day. It would take approximately 3 hours for them to reach the frog monster's nest. Since Lammy's and Boxxo's purpose was only to provide food, Director Bear asked if they wanted to join the battlefield or not. Lammy's herself was a hunter, so she didn't mind fighting. However, she was concerned about Boxxo. To her surprise, Boxxo also wanted to join the battlefield. After all, Boxxo wanted to protect Lammy's. She was his first customer and friend in this world. The next day, they continued their journey. They arrived at a misty and muddy part of the forest. Director Bear then heard the sound of a frog monster horde ahead and ordered the hunters to attack. They were excited because they would receive extra payment for each defeated frog. Lammy's also seemed enthusiastic. However, Boxxo was somewhat worried because Lammy's wasn't familiar with her opponents. When a frog monster approached her, somehow Lammy's managed to hit it accurately. It seemed that she became more balanced when carrying Boxxo. Although indirectly, Boxxo was glad to be able to assist her. After defeating so many frog monsters, there were still some that kept emerging. It was unusual for them to appear in such numbers. Cariel had a hunch that something was amiss. He ordered the other hunters to gather in the middle and not act alone. That way, they could continue to attack while defending themselves. Suddenly, a frog monster ambushed Shui from behind, and Lammy's tried to protect her but seemed unable to. It was at that moment that Boxxo used his protective magic and sent the frog monster flying. Shui thought that Lammy's had cast the protection spell. However, Lammy's didn't feel like she was using magic, which meant Boxxo was the one responsible. Boxxo felt that he needed to expand his field of vision to be more helpful. He didn't mind using 1000 points for that function. Then, Lammy's asked Boxxo to let her know if there was an enemy approaching from behind. Boxxo would say, "You might get a reward as a signal." In the midst of the battle, Cariol was impressed by Lammy's strength and agility in evading attacks. He even felt embarrassed and didn't listen to Boxxo's warning about an enemy from behind. Reluctantly, Boxxo had to use his protective magic once again. Cariol was even more surprised to see Lammy's producing the protective shield. However, she denied it and stated that it was Boxxo's power. Boxxo sensed ill intentions in Cariol's mind, considering him a potential threat. After some time, the frog monsters in that area were finally defeated. To receive payment, they had to cut off the tongues of the frog monsters. Cariol only instructed his members to do it and didn't do anything himself. Of course, his members protested. They said that Cariol became their captain because he could order them to do disgusting things like that. For now, Cariol felt that their payment was sufficient after defeating so many, but if they wanted more, they had to go to the front lines. Philomena reminded Cariol that their task was to protect Lammy's and Boxxo. Philomena would agree if Lammy's and Boxxo agreed as well. Upon hearing this, Cariol tried to persuade Lammy's to go to the front lines. Lammy's was willing to help if the troops on the front lines encountered any problems. After they fought on the front lines, some hunters were injured. Lammy's carried them one by one to be taken to the cart, and Boxxo helped by providing them with free isotonic drinks. Director Bear thanked them because the Foolish People's Troop had also helped on the front lines. The Foolish People's Troop referred to Cariol's group, although no one knew why it had that name. Director Bear didn't expect the number of frog monsters to be greater than anticipated. Director Bear and Cariol came to the conclusion that the evil Frog King might have risen. If that were the case, the assistance of the Foolish People's Troop would be very useful. Director Bear also asked Lammy's and Boxxo to stay there and provide food for the injured hunters. At night, Boxxo was alone because Lammy's was still busy assisting the injured hunters. Then, someone tried to steal coins from inside Boxxo. Boxxo made a sound, startling the thief. Boxxo then dispensed bottled water for free. When the thief tried to take it, Boxxo immediately dispensed hot corn soup, causing the thief's hand to burn. Fortunately, Lammy's had returned by then. She threatened the thief not to mess with Boxxo. Some time later, the guards saw a flock of scared crows flying. And indeed, the evil Frog King was approaching them. Lammy's took Boxxo and hurriedly left the scene. The forest pigs that were pulling the cart refused to move out of fear. Feeling sorry for them, Lammy's set the forest pigs free. Other hunters protested against Lammy's actions. As a result, Lammy's was willing to pull the cart on her own with her own strength. Boxxo was confused about what to do. As he looked at the list of products that could be added, an idea came to his mind that might hinder the evil Frog King. Boxxo replaced all the products inside him with cola. Lammy's and the other hunters took the cola without knowing Boxxo's intentions. After that, Boxxo used his new function, the ability to transform. He transformed from a regular vending machine to a vending machine selling Mentos. Lammy still didn't understand what to do with the two items. With limited communication, Boxxo could only give instructions with the voice command, "Please insert the coin." Lammy's mistakenly thought that she needed to insert a coin even though the items had already been dispensed. In those critical moments, the tied-up thief woke up and panicked upon seeing the evil Frog King. The other hunters silenced him with Mentos, and he felt suffocated and asked for water. The hunters then poured cola into his mouth. They were surprised to see the cola bursting out of the thief's mouth. Because of that, Lammy's understood what Boxxo was trying to convey. The other hunters joined Lammy's in helping. They put Mentos into the cola and aimed it at the evil Frog King's eyes. In doing so, the evil Frog King was hindered, allowing the Foolish People's Troop and Director Bear to chase after him. After a fierce battle, they managed to defeat the evil Frog King. The hunters thanked Boxxo for his assistance. Director Bear apologized for allowing the hunters to be separated. Lammy's also apologized, feeling that it was her fault. With this, their mission was completed, and they could return to the village. This is the end of episode 2. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss part 3 of this series recap.